Live at 5 in Taylorsville, I'm Cher Park.
Yeah, no excuse, ridiculous. All right, sure, thank you. New tonight, we are hearing from a firefighter off duty yesterday when he heard a skier caught in an avalanche and screaming for help.
Well, it turned into a complicated rescue that lasted more than 7 hours as the rescuer and the victim fought off snow and cold. News specialist Jed Bowl is live with that story tonight. Jed?
Yeah, Ashley, 24 hours ago, rescuers were working quickly, but also very cautiously in dangerous avalanche terrain in Neff's Canyon to get that injured backcountry skier and also the firefighter off of the mountain safely. The 35-year-old solo skier was swept into a tree by a large avalanche 2.5 miles up the canyon. That was around 10 a.m. He's lucky that Unified firefighter Tom Elbrecht was skiing in that area with his dog. Otherwise, there was nobody else around to hear his cries for help. Elbrecht found the man buried up to his chest in avalanche debris, wrapped against a tree with an injured leg and arm. He dug out the skier, called for help, made a bench for him, gave him a down jacket, and huddled with him in the cold for more than 9 hours. It was a very complicated rescue because the men were surrounded by snow that might slide.
I knew the patient at that time. I knew kind of how he was doing and the extent of his injuries. I felt that it was best if I stuck around and just helped him get off the mountain.
It was after 7 o'clock when the men were finally rescued off the mountain. Elbrecht says that he was in the right place at the right time. Coming up at 6:30, the firefighter talks about his frame of mind throughout that very long and enduring kind of day. And I also talk with the director of Utah Avalanche Center, who tells me what's so dangerous about the snowpack right now. For Live at 5, I'm Jed Bowl.
Yeah, still an incredible story. Jed, thank you. Also new tonight, a community.
And the suspect's still at large.
I just stood behind him, gave him someone to lean on, and tried to keep him warm.
Being in the right place at the right time after a man is stuck in an avalanche for hours. Hear from the first responder that heard his cries for help.
But that prey could also be a small child.
Dry spell will last. When will the next storm get here and how low will those temperatures actually go? Your full forecast is coming up in a couple minutes.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Kevin. An off-duty firefighter who heard a backcountry skier caught in an avalanche screaming for help says he was simply in the right place at the right time.
It turned into a complicated rescue that lasted for several hours as the rescuer and the victim fought off the cold. News specialist Jed Bowl is live with their story. Jed?
Yeah, Deanie, 24 hours ago, rescue crews were working quickly but very cautiously in dangerous avalanche terrain in Neff's Canyon to rescue that injured backcountry skier and also the firefighter. If not for that firefighter in that area, it's quite possible that nobody would have heard that man's screams.
My plan was to go ski with my dog in Neff's Canyon.
Tom Elbrecht was scouting low-angle slopes, checking out the snow. As the off-duty firefighter headed up,
Heard a very distinct help from somewhere up on the hill.
he shouted, and the avalanche victim yelled back. Elbrecht saw the slide path and debris field extending a couple hundred feet and knew that he had to be cautious.
Came across the victim. He was pinned against a tree. He was buried. He was wrapped around the tree with just his head and arms exposed.
He dug out the skier, assessed his condition, and called for help, contacting his wife first because she knew his plan. He made a bench for the injured skier and huddled with him in the cold for more than 9 hours.
I gave the victim my extra down jacket, my vest, and my jacket.
Avalanche danger complicated the rescue as the men waited.
Just try to keep the situation positive and keep the patient talking to me and just do the best we could.
Mark Staples, director of the Utah Avalanche Center, tells me the survivor is lucky because steep slopes are dangerous right now, even at low elevation.
As soon as you leave the trailhead, there's a good chance you can trigger an avalanche on a steep slope. Other times in the year, you got to go up higher in the mountains. Right now, as soon as you take that one step forward, you're going to be faced with avalanches.
Urging everyone headed out hiking to be aware, not just backcountry skiers and snowmobilers.
If you're in the mountains near a steep snow-covered slope, avalanches are possible, and especially right now, they're likely.
After 7 o'clock, the men were finally off the mountain.
An immense weight off our shoulders, and I think for everybody, because the general feeling was that we all wanted to do the right thing, but without causing more harm and causing more harm to him.
Yeah, and it all worked out pretty well. Elbrecht says that he always checks the Utah avalanche forecast before he heads out into the backcountry on skis, and he avoids steep slopes, especially on days like this when the snow is dangerous. Guys?
Yeah, right place at the right time indeed. What are the chances, huh, Chad? Amazing story. Thank you.
New tonight, the Salt Lake City Council voted.